you bad as ever. Don't let me just let up. Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zo knows. First off, we're going to discuss the playoffs. Playoffs? You kidding me? Yes, the playoffs. MLB playoffs. NLDS still in effect. Dodgers and Nationals. Who's going to go ahead and meet the Cubs? I don't know. Will it be the Dodgers? Will it be the Nationals? I look at the Dodgers and Kershaw last game. They pulled a cockroach out of a vacuum, and they were able to beat the Nationals. Come back and do it. Win it by one run. The 6-5 comeback was okay. They only had to score one run after the Nationals tied it up. I really liked the way the Nationals got on base and got everybody home, got the score where it needed to be, but the Dodgers showed some resiliency winning the game. Can they win it all? I don't think the Dodgers can win it all. I don't think they have enough. I don't think Kershaw, even though he's healthy, I don't think he's healthy enough. But we'll have to see what happens with them. Old man chased the bank. He's still clutch for them. Chased the bank, Utley. He cashes in always. He was a key part of the win the other night for the Dodgers. And Washington, I think they'll win the series because they'll out-hit L.A. I look at the fact that they've got Rendon, Harper, Murphy, Jason Worth. That batting lineup is still very dangerous, even though they may have faltered there towards the end of the season. Also, the Cubs got the dub. I really liked the other night Chicago getting done what they needed to get done, winning that game, coming back against the Giants. They end the whole even year theory. What curse is in Chicago? Right now they're playing like I don't know if a curse exists or not. They were able to do that the other night, which gives a lot of hope to Chicago fans and lets other people know that that curse may not be as relevant this year as in past years. Steve Bartman, come out, go to a game, do something. Who knows? You might even catch a foul ball. Also, I really think that if they would have lost that game, Jake Arrieta would have been put in the position to have to start Game 5. You don't want to make the same mistake that the Orioles made with Britton. Buck Showalter regretting not getting him in that clinching game towards the end. I think if the Cubs lose that game against their opponent, they're going to have to go ahead and insert Arrieta into a Game 5 scenario to make sure that their ace brings home the win, which I won't say he pitched outstanding the other night against Bumgarner, but they would have had to go to Jake Arrieta. But good for him, he gets to rest a little bit more. So the Cubs, the good job beating the Giants. Hopefully you guys can win it all. 100 games, don't waste a season. Back-to-back vacations have to pay off. You went to the NLCS last year. This is your second trip. Cubs, please let a Billy Goat in the stadium. I think the coach should just, the Cubs should just let in a Billy Goat, let him mosey on in, give him a section, give him Cracker Jacks and a soda, let him chill, watch the game, just to ensure that everybody's comfortable in Chicago when you all win the World Series. Okay, now, we'll move right along. I'm anxious to see what's going on in college football this weekend. If college football was a movie, we'd be right at the part where you don't want to get up and go use the restroom, okay? Now, there's two heavyweight title fights this weekend. Our first one that I think is very relevant on the national stage in the college football playoff picture. You've got Ohio State and Wisconsin. Ohio State, they're road tested. I really like the fact that they're in this spot undefeated, going to play a Wisconsin team where they've got plenty of film on them. They know what they like to do with each quarterback. I really think that Ohio State, because they've played at Oklahoma, an environment like that, Camp Randall, a traditional Big Ten opponent, should not matter to them at this point because they've been in hostile environments. And J.T. Barrett and Noah Brown have proven they've proven with that duel they do not care about where they play football. So I think Ohio State gets it done against Wisconsin. Camp Randall, they need some Folgers. They must win this game. I don't think they will. But the reason I said they need Folgers, they need to wake up because I just think it's highly unlikely that they'll beat an Ohio State with all the weapons they have on offense as well as handle that defense. They say Ohio State's pretty young, but I haven't seen anything that's indicated to me yet that they can't handle these moments as a young team. I think they'll respond on Saturday and win handily. The QB edge goes to Ohio State. You got JT Barrett. He's got 15 TDs. He's only got 3 interceptions. And one thing he brings is experience to the quarterback position. Unlike Wisconsin, they've got Bart Houston and then Alex Hornibrook. And Houston's already got 2 picks on the season. I mean, if you look at the interception to touchdown ratio or touchdown interception ratio of JT Barrett compared to just Houston himself, I mean, it's an outstanding comparison. Overwhelmingly goes in Barrett's direction and in his favor. He just knows how to get the ball in the end zone and protect the football. So I think that will help him having the quarterback edge in that game. It's a Big Ten collision course for Michigan and Ohio State. We all know that. However, this game's very important because if Wisconsin loses this game and they win the rest of their games, go to the Big Ten championship, Michigan and Ohio State are in the same division. If they were to beat an undefeated Michigan or Ohio State, would they get in the playoff? I don't know. Or would that be a one-loss Louisville? I'm not sure. That'd be a 2-loss Big Ten champion. But we'll just have to see how the season develops. Funny things like that happen and make the College Football Playoff Committee have to work. They may have to work for a check this game. Okay, this year. Now we move right along. The other big game this weekend, Alabama versus Tennessee. Ammonia in the air in Knoxville called Alabama. They are ready, the Vol fans, for Alabama to come into Knoxville knowing that their team can finally compete in every game, not just some games, but in every game and win those games. Last year they had a bunch of close games, Tennessee did, that they couldn't quite win. This year they've been winning those games. They even had Alabama on the ropes, on their Ali tip, punching them out, but they landed a haymaker, Alabama did, called Derrick Henry, and were able to win that game against Tennessee in the closing seconds last year. I really am interested in seeing the Tennessee offense versus the Alabama defense. Bama's ranked 61st against the pass. That's not great, which is why I think the Vols can stretch the field. Josh Malone, Juwan Jennings have to make plays in the passing game. Dobbs has to protect the football, not throw interceptions. Will the Vols protect the football? I don't know. And the reason I say Josh Dobbs can't throw interceptions is because Bama, they've got 9 defensive touchdowns on the season. So a lot of their points on the back end that are supplementing the offensive production come from defense. If they're scoring 2 touchdowns per game, they've got 9 touchdowns through, 6 games? I mean, obviously, they're helping out the offense a whole lot. So don't shoot yourself in the foot, Tennessee. Give yourself a chance to win the game. Third Saturday is no longer a few weeks before Halloween. It now means something. It's relevant. People are excited about the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry. It's not just the Iron Bowl action that gets hyped up this time of the year anymore. Jalen Hurts, he can't play like the wet-nosed freshman. Jalen Hurts, not Hurd, Jalen Hurts, Alabama's quarterback, has to find a way to play like a superstar if they're going to beat Tennessee, I think. I don't think Alabama can just waltz in Tennessee and blow out the Vols. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have to make precision throws. He's going to have to make great decisions and protect the football as well. Also, can Tennessee stay in it early? I really would like to know, can Tennessee play a full game? The first, second, third, fourth quarter. Alabama, can they go ahead and rev the Ferrari and roll the tide? I don't know. I think that this will be a tight game throughout. Tennessee's got to find a way to stay in it early, because if they don't, Alabama will roll. They do not play. They add their points quick. So Tennessee's got to play good, sound defense, limit that offense, and also protect the ball on offense. But this will be a good game. I'm anxious to see how this game turns out, because this is a game that goes a long way in determining college football playoff predictions and results, as well as SEC predictions and implications. So we'll have to see what happens with the Alabama-Tennessee game. I think this is the dynamite game of the weekend. Now, other games on tap. Can Louisville bounce back Friday versus Duke? They're coming off the loss from Clemson. Louisville, what do you guys got? Are you still sad about the Clemson loss, or are you going to come out and blow Duke out? Duke's not a bad team. They beat Notre Dame, but how good is Notre Dame really with 4 losses? I asked Texas how good they are. I think Charlie Strong would say they're okay, even though he wishes they were a lot better for his sake and his resume with Texas. However, I don't think that Duke will compete as much with Louisville, but they'll keep it not as they won't get beat as bad as people think. Now, also they banned the signatures. Louisville did. I don't know how I feel about that. NCAA athletes are not getting paid, so to ban signatures, I don't know. Now, also Wake Forest at Florida State. The Demon Deacons are 5-1. Florida State's coming off the big win in Miami. I think they may come in a little bit sluggish. Also, Ole Miss versus Arkansas means nothing now with 2 losses on a national stage, I think, but it means something to the SEC. Stanford versus Notre Dame. Stanford 3-2, Notre Dame 2-4. Both teams are unranked. I did not think this at this point in the season we'd be talking about McCaffrey and Notre Dame and Brian Kelly being this bad. But hey, it is what it is. This is what college football is. It's a hot pot of food. I can't wait to enjoy Saturday. So everybody, make sure you tune in, catch some good games. NFL juice for this Sunday. The Falcons versus Seahawks. Falcons 4-1, Seahawks 3-1. Dirty Birds versus Angry Birds. The reason I say that is because the Falcons have started playing like Dirty Birds. They are playing good football, consistent football. And Seattle, they haven't been playing like the Seattle that we've seen in the past. The one from the last 2 years with beast mode in the backfield, as well as everybody in the secondary being on one accord. They still have some similar faces: Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman. But I feel like this hasn't been the same type of season for Seattle. I don't know what's going on there. Matt Ryan hasn't cooled down. He's got 12 TDs, 2 picks this year. He's playing like the old Matt Ryan from the 07 Boston College days all the way through 09, 2010, 2011, 2012 with the Falcons. So I do think that Matt Ryan, if he can go ahead and continue to play well and play like Matt Ryan, then the Atlanta Falcons could actually have a decent season. Running back issues, I think that's karma. That may be karma for Seattle. Marshawn, the relationship wasn't as great as people thought. And I don't even think people thought it was great based on a lot of interviews we saw and behind the scenes all access. Marshawn was not happy in Seattle. He felt like there was favoritism toward Russell, possibly. Now, you look at their situation with Christian Michaels as well as Thomas Rawls. It's an okay situation, but I'm sure it's not ideal for them. And they are seeing that even though a guy like Beast Mode may not be typical for the organization, he's a good football player. And that's been evident with that team's success and the digression this particular year. How dangerous is Russell Wilson now? He had the knee banged up. I want to see him run around a little bit. Which defense can limit the offense? Deion Jones is questionable. I like this guy, Deion Jones. He brings the pop to your snap and crackle. Deion Jones, he's the guy who hit Cam Newton at the goal line. I really like Deion Jones. We'll have to see. Will the Legion of Boom play like Orange Crush 2.0 did last week against the Falcons? I hope not, because if they do, they could take an L. Next game that I see that really interests me, Cowboys versus Packers. The boys from Big D, they go back to Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers had a slow start for this particular season. He hasn't been doing as much. He's only thrown for, I want to say, 800 or so yards. This isn't the Aaron Rodgers type of season where he's throwing for 1,500, 2,000 yards in the first couple games. No, he's doing it steady and slow, but, he's not playing bad. Dak Prescott, he's off and running like Usain Bolt. He's playing really well, not turning the ball over. He's clinched that spot from Tony Romo, in my personal opinion. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are that naive to go ahead and throw Romo in the action once he's healthy. Dak Prescott's been doing his job great. Ezekiel Elliott, I question whether or not he's being overworked, possibly. He's got 109 carries for just under 600 yards, about 500 yards. 109 carries so far. You want him to get experience, but we look at what happened with DeMarco Murray and the Cowboys. They were running him way too much. The Cowboys have to find a way to pick their spots to get him the ball. Don't run him in between the tackles. Yeah, they've been getting him outside on the edge, but throw him a couple screen passes, throw him some balls in the flat. Allow him to work and be Ezekiel Elliott. You don't want to bang him up too early in his career because obviously he's shown he's going to be a great running back for quite some time. So protect Ezekiel Elliott. This will be a good game. Now shootout. Hey, it will be a shootout. I do think these defenses are both unproven. Sam Shields has been hurt for a minute with Green Bay with the concussion issues. The Dallas defense, they played okay, but I'm not totally confident or sold on the Dallas defense yet just because of previous years. I mean, they still have guys like Barry Church on that defense. They still got a lot of people on that defense, names that I know. So I have to see what they can prove. The playoff preview potentially for a wild card game. I think Philadelphia will win the Cowboys division, and the way Minnesota's playing, they could likely win the NFC North. So I do think this could be a playoff wildcard preview for us that we'll be watching this Sunday afternoon. Moving right along, other games this weekend, 49ers play the Bills. Colin Kaepernick finally breaks up with the bench. He'll finally get a chance to get in that offense, which I thought he should have been the starting quarterback, but they had a Blaine Gabbert experiment going on. Also, Patriots mess with Tom's first test against the Bengals. The reason I say it's his first test because you can't really measure where he's at after this suspension playing the Browns. I think the Bengals would be a better measuring stick. The Bengals actually have to play hard and win this game because they just lost to the Cowboys. The Panthers play in New Orleans. Dab Daddy, you're on. Cam Newton should be coming back. We'll see how he plays against the Saints. The Saints don't really have a great team. They don't play a lot of defense, but obviously the Panthers don't have a great team if they're losing to Tampa Bay because I think Tampa Bay is just okay. Also, Thursday night, we got Broncos-Chargers. That'll be a shootout. Check it out. Natty Boys in Washington bring it home versus the Dodgers, in my opinion. We have a long sports weekend. We got to talk about what I liked and didn't like over the weekend on Tuesday. And then also next Thursday, tune in for the Zonos NBA preview. Talk some Chef, talk some LeBron, talk some Knicks. So we'll have to see what we've got on tap after the weekend. And then I'll go from there with you all. Thank you so much for watching this morning where Zonos. Have a good day.